Imagine for a moment that you are on a boat in the middle of the ocean. The horizon is vast, almost infinite, and the sky stretches above you like a silent, immense cloak. Now, pause and ask yourself, where do you direct your gaze? Toward the choppy waves around you, the strong winds that seem to want to divert your path, or toward the distant lighthouse, that luminous point that promises safety and destination? But what if I told you that the lighthouse you seek is not out there, but within you? And the most curious part? Perhaps it has always been lit. You just didn't notice because you were looking in the wrong direction. This idea may sound poetic, but it carries a profound truth. You don't need to find the light. You need to recognize it. After all, if the light already exists within you, why do you sometimes, or perhaps always, feel so lost? The answer lies in an invisible, yet powerful mechanism that controls what you see, feel, and experience. Let's explore together what this mechanism is and how it shapes your reality. Life, after all, functions much like the journey of that boat on the ocean. Just as the boat relies on the lighthouse to navigate safely, our existence is deeply influenced by how we choose to see the world. Our reality is not just what happens around us, but also how we decide to focus our attention. This choice-conscious or not shapes our emotions, decisions, outcomes, and even the opportunities we encounter along the way. In this video, we will explore how your vision, that is, where you decide to place your attention, has the power to completely transform your trajectory. We will delve into universal principles of Stoicism, Buddhism, Taoism, and positive psychology to understand how these philosophies can be applied to modern daily life. And most importantly, we will learn to cultivate a new way of seeing the world, one that allows us to overcome fears, find inner peace, and build a more meaningful life. Before we continue, I want you to pause and reflect. When was the last time you really stopped to think about where you are directing your attention? This simple exercise could be the first step in changing your perspective and, consequently, your reality. Perception is a mirror of reality. What you see defines who you are. To better understand, imagine two people walking down the same street at dawn. One of them, looking attentively at the sky, marvels at the vibrant colors of the rising sun, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. The other, focused only on the cracks in the asphalt, sees a difficult and worn path, anticipating a tiring and monotonous day. The street is the same, but each person's reality is completely different. This simple metaphor illustrates a powerful truth. Our perception is the filter through which we interpret the world. And this filter is not neutral, it is shaped by our thoughts, beliefs, and past experiences. If you are constantly focused on problems, difficulties, and scarcity, your mind will begin to see these elements everywhere. On the other hand, if you train your attention to seek possibilities, learning, and growth, your reality will start to reflect this new perspective. Think of a recent moment when something went wrong in your day, perhaps. A project at work didn't go as planned, or a conversation with a friend ended in misunderstanding. Now, reflect. How did you react? Did you see it as an absolute failure? Something that confirmed your limitations? Or were you able to see an opportunity for learning, a chance to grow and improve? Our brain functions like a constant feedback system. When we focus on negative aspects, we reinforce mental patterns that keep us stuck in these narratives. But when we choose to see beyond difficulties, we begin to create new neural connections that allow us to see the world in a more positive and constructive way. The world is like a mirror. It reflects back to us what we project onto it. Buddhist proverb: do this simple exercise today. Throughout the day, observe your thoughts. Whenever you notice that you are focusing on something negative, whether it's self-criticism, worry, or judgment about someone else, pause for a moment and ask yourself, is there another way to see this situation? Write down your answers in a notebook or notepad. This practice can help you begin to gradually change your perception. Share in the comments a recent situation where you tried to change your perspective on something challenging. How did it impact your experience? Your story could inspire others to do the same. Focus and destiny. How the direction of your gaze shapes your path. Your brain has a hidden superpower. Literally, there is an internal filter called the reticular activating system, RAS, that decides what you perceive and what you simply ignore. This means that, at this very moment, you might be surrounded by incredible opportunities, but your brain is deliberately hiding them from you. To understand better, imagine yourself at a crowded party, with several conversations happening at the same time. Amidst the noise, you suddenly hear your name mentioned from across the room. Bam! Your internal radar picked up something relevant. That's the RAS in action. It filters information and brings to your consciousness what it considers important to you at that moment. Now, imagine if you could program this radar to detect not just your name, but also your goals, dreams, and opportunities. Sounds like magic? It's not. When you decide, consciously, to focus on a specific goal, something fascinating happens in your brain. The RAS kicks into action, functioning like an internal radar that seeks and highlights exactly what you decided to prioritize. This phenomenon explains why, when you decide to buy a car of a specific model, you suddenly start seeing it everywhere. It's not that these cars have appeared out of nowhere, they were always there. But now, with the RAS activated, your brain is paying attention to them. The same principle applies to your dreams and goals. When you clearly define what you want to achieve, your brain begins to identify opportunities, connections, and resources that previously seemed invisible. It's like adjusting the focus of a camera. Suddenly, what was once blurry and indistinct becomes clear and accessible. For example, imagine you decided to improve your physical health. Before this, you might not have paid attention to the healthy options available on restaurant menus or the walking routes near your home. But by setting this goal, you start noticing small opportunities that can help you progress. A yoga class offered at the gym near work, a simple smoothie recipe shared by a friend, or even an app that helps monitor your water intake. Each of these little things emerges because you are intentionally directing your attention to what matters. However, there is an important warning here. The RAS does not judge whether what you are focusing on is good or bad. It simply obeys, and that's where the danger lies. Often, without realizing it, we focus on what we don't want instead of what we desire. For example, if you spend the day thinking about avoiding failure or worrying about possible obstacles, your brain will start projecting more of these challenges into your journey. This happens because the RAS responds to what is in focus, regardless of whether it is positive or negative. Therefore, shifting your focus to solutions and achievements is essential to transforming your trajectory. When you choose to see possibilities instead of problems, your brain begins to work in your favor, creating a reality aligned with your goals. The invisible power of attention. How your thoughts create your world. Have you ever tried not to think about something? For example, don't think about a pink elephant. What just happened in your mind? Exactly. This is the paradox of the law of reverse effort. The more you try to avoid something, the more your mind focuses on it. It's like the brain is a curious child. Tell it, don't look, and it will look anyway. This mental trap is more common than we think. When you spend the day thinking about not failing or avoiding problems, your internal radar, that reticular activating system we discussed earlier, starts detecting signs of failure and difficulties even more easily. It's like adjusting the focus of a camera to capture only gray clouds, completely ignoring the blue sky. But here's the secret. The opposite of avoiding the negative is not just thinking positive, it's replacing the focus with something constructive. So, how can we reprogram our minds to work for us instead of against us? Spoiler, you already have the tools. You just need to learn how to use them. Our brain is a powerful machine, but also extremely sensitive to what we feed it. Studies in neuroscience show that our thoughts are not just fleeting reflections. They have the power to reconfigure brain connections, strengthening patterns that can either propel us forward or hold us back. This phenomenon is known as neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and reorganize based on new stimuli. If you constantly see yourself as incapable, trapped by external circumstances, or destined to fail, your brain will start acting accordingly. It seeks evidence to confirm your internal narrative, creating a cycle of thoughts and behaviors that reinforce your negative view. It's like planting weeds in a garden and then complaining because they grow. On the other hand, when you decide to nurture thoughts of growth, learning, and overcoming, your brain responds by building new connections that favor these positive changes. It's like replacing weeds with vibrant flowers. You just need to choose carefully what you plant. A practical example: the meditation garden. Imagine you are trying to develop the habit of meditation. In the first few days, it might be difficult to sit in silence for 10 minutes without distractions. Your mind might wander, and you might even think, "This isn't working for me. I'm not good at this." At this moment, it's easy to give up, right? But what if, instead of focusing on what seems wrong, you decided to celebrate the progress? No matter how small, maybe today you managed to stay silent for just 5 minutes. Great! That's already a victory. Over time, something incredible happens. Your brain begins to associate that moment of quietude with calm and mental clarity. New synapses are formed, and the habit becomes more natural, just like a plant that, watered daily, finally blooms. The same logic applies to any area of life. When you direct your attention to healthy habits, personal development, and purpose, your mind responds by creating new connections that facilitate this growth. An inspiring reflection. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You become what you think about most of the time." So, what landscape are you painting in your mind? A sky full of storms or a horizon lit by the sun? Today, try this simple experiment. Observe your thoughts for a few minutes. Without judgment, just record what passes through your mind. Then, ask yourself, are these thoughts helping me grow, or are they keeping me stuck? If you notice that many of them are negative or self-limiting, try replacing them with positive affirmations. For example, from "I'll never be able to do this" to "I'm making progress every day, and that's enough." From "I always have bad luck" to "I'm open to the opportunities that come my way." Challenge for the next few days. Choose an area of your life where you want to improve health, career, relationships, or even your inner peace. Dedicate at least 5 minutes a day to visualizing your success in this area. Close your eyes and vividly imagine what it would be like to achieve this goal. What emotions would you feel? What environment would surround you? By sharing your experience in the comments, you will be reinforcing this mental process and inspiring others to do the same. From observation to transformation, the secret of those who see beyond the obvious. The world around you is not an objective reality. It is a mirror that reflects what you carry within. In other words, you don't see the world as it is, but as you are. This idea, present in both Buddhism and modern psychology, is powerful because it takes control away from external circumstances and gives it back to you. If the world seems dark, perhaps what needs light is your gaze, not the scenery. But what if the mirror is dirty? Imagine your vision is covered by layers of accumulated dust-limiting beliefs, old fears, and automatic mental patterns. How can we clean this internal lens to see more clearly? The answer involves something you do every day, but perhaps have never noticed: the way you choose to interpret what happens around you. Successful people are not necessarily more talented or privileged. They have simply learned to see the world differently. While many see obstacles, they see opportunities in disguise. Where some see failure, they perceive learning. This ability to see beyond is one of the most powerful secrets to achieving significant transformations in life. Great visionaries in history share this characteristic. Steve Jobs, for example, not only imagined innovative products but also saw potential where others saw only technological limitations. Elon Musk looked at the challenges of space and thought, how can we make this accessible? Leonardo da Vinci connected art, science, and philosophy in ways no one had done before because he refused to accept conventional boundaries of knowledge. These examples show that the ability to see beyond the obvious is not an innate skill. It is a trainable ability, and you can develop it too. starting by questioning your own perceptions and expanding your vision. A practical example: the challenge at work. Imagine you are facing a challenge at work. Your team is struggling to meet an important deadline. Instead of focusing only on the problem, "This is impossible," try asking different questions. What else could this situation mean? It might reveal gaps in communication or areas where the process can be optimized. Is there a hidden opportunity here? It could be a chance to strengthen collaboration among team members or implement new tools. How can I turn this challenge into a learning experience? By reflecting on what went wrong, you can create strategies to avoid future problems. These questions help shift the focus from problem to possibility, allowing you to find creative and constructive solutions. It's like adjusting the focus of a flashlight. When you direct the beam toward the right path, even the densest darkness begins to reveal passages that were previously invisible. An inspiring reflection. It is not the contrary winds that determine the destination, but the direction of the sails. Taoist proverb. This proverb reminds us that, regardless of external circumstances, what really matters is how you adjust your perspective. When you decide to navigate with intention, even the strongest winds can propel you toward your destination. Practical challenge: train your vision. In the next few days, practice the habit of seeing beyond. Whenever you encounter a challenge or difficulty, ask yourself 3 questions. What else could this situation mean? Is there a hidden opportunity here? How can I turn this challenge into a learning experience? Write down your answers in a notebook or notepad. This simple practice will help expand your mind to new possibilities and strengthen your emotional resilience. Invitation to experiment. I invite you to an experiment. Choose a current challenge in your life. It doesn't have to be big. It can be something small. And apply these 3 questions. Then, share in the comments how this new perspective changed your approach to the problem. Your experience could inspire others to adopt this transformative mindset. The art of seeing beyond. How mental clarity redefines your journey. Your brain has a fascinating programming flaw. It cannot differentiate between what you are experiencing and what you imagine experiencing. This means that imagining yourself achieving a goal activates the same brain areas as actually achieving it. Athletes use this visualization technique to improve performance. Michael Phelps, for example, mentally rehearsed each stroke before competitions. This is not mysticism. It's pure neuroscience. So, if your brain responds to thoughts as if they were real, what have you been programming without realizing it? Perhaps it's time to choose new commands. Having a clear vision of what you want to achieve is what differentiates those who accomplish great feats from those who remain stuck in repetitive cycles. Mental clarity not only directs your actions, but also strengthens your resilience in the face of challenges. When you know exactly where you are going, obstacles cease to be insurmountable barriers and become steps on the path. People who lack a clear focus live at the mercy of circumstances. They are easily influenced by external opinions, daily problems, and fleeting emotions. In contrast, those who cultivate a clear vision of the future they want to build remain steadfast, regardless of the obstacles that arise. This clarity functions as an internal compass, guiding your decisions and helping you stay aligned with your values and goals. Let's think about someone who wants to change careers. Without clarity about what they truly seek, this person might feel lost, toggling between online courses, job openings, and conflicting advice from friends and family. However, by taking the time to reflect on their true interests, skills, and purpose, they can map out a clear plan. This plan includes specific goals, such as completing a digital marketing course in the next 3 months, or sending out 5 resumes per week to companies that value innovation. With these clear guidelines, every step taken, no matter how small, contributes to overall progress. This approach does not eliminate challenges, but it completely changes how they are addressed. When you have a clear vision, setbacks become opportunities to adjust the path, not reasons to give up. An inspiring reflection. If you want to achieve what you've never had, you must be willing to do what you've never done. Tony Robbins. Try this exercise to develop your mental clarity. 1. Write down your daily goals. Spend 5 minutes each day listing what you want to achieve. Be specific. Instead of writing "be healthier," write "do 30 minutes of walking today." 2. Visualize your goals as already achieved. Close your eyes and vividly imagine what it would be like to achieve your goals. What emotions would you feel? What environment would surround you? This practice helps reinforce the mental image of success. 3. Eliminate distractions. Identify which activities or habits are diverting your attention from what truly matters. It could be excessive social media, unproductive conversations, or even negative thoughts. Make a conscious effort to reduce them. Final challenge: dedicate the next 7 days to practicing mental clarity. Each morning, write down a specific goal you want to achieve and visualize it as already accomplished. At the end of the day, evaluate your progress and adjust the plan if necessary. Share your experience in the comments. Let's create a community of people committed to seeing beyond and transforming their lives. Maintaining authenticity and inspiring without being prescriptive. Throughout this video, we have explored how the way we see the world shapes our reality. We have seen that our perception functions as a powerful filter, determining not only what we see, but also how we react and which opportunities we can identify. We have learned about the impact of focus on creating new neural connections, the role of mental clarity in directing our actions, and the importance of seeing beyond to transform challenges into learning experiences. But above all, this content was created with a greater purpose: to inspire you to adopt a new way of looking at yourself and the world. It is not about following rigid formulas or ready-made recipes. It is about recognizing your vulnerability, embracing your growth journey, and at the same time, taking responsibility for your choices and perspectives. Showing vulnerability and personal journey. If there is one thing I want to make clear, it is that I am also on this journey. Like anyone else, I face moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. But the difference lies in how I choose to deal with these feelings. By sharing these teachings, my intention is to be genuine and authentic. I am not someone who has all the answers, but someone who is constantly seeking to improve and learn. And this same attitude can be applied to your life. Imagine we are walking together on an unknown trail. Sometimes we stumble, other times we stop to admire the scenery. What matters is not avoiding the stumbles, but learning from them and continuing to move forward. This is the essence of personal growth, accepting that we are all learners on this journey called life. Inspiring without imposing. My goal has never been to tell you how to think or act. Instead, I wanted to offer tools and reflections that can help you find your own path. Each person is unique, and what works for me might not work exactly the same way for you. The important thing is that you experiment, adapt, and discover what resonates with your inner truth. And what if I told you that the greatest mystery of the universe is not in the stars, the deep oceans, or the secrets of science, but in the simple fact that you can change your own reality just with the power of attention? This ability to transform internally is what differentiates a life lived on autopilot from a conscious and meaningful journey. The lighthouse has always been lit. Now you know where it is. Reflective questions for you. Now it's your turn. When was the last time you stopped to reflect on where you are directing your attention? Have you noticed how changing your perspective has transformed a challenging situation in your life? What kind of opportunities do you think you are missing by not adjusting your focus? These questions may seem simple, but they have the power to open doors that once seemed closed. Today, we talked about how the reticular activating system, RAS, the brain's filter, that decides what you perceive, can be programmed to focus on your dreams and goals, transforming challenges into opportunities. Philosophies like Stoicism, Buddhism, and positive psychology show us that changing our focus is the first step toward a more meaningful life. Invitation to continue the journey. So, it's up to you to take the next step. If you enjoyed this content and felt it brought value to your life, I invite you to continue this journey with me. Subscribe to the channel to receive more insights on personal development, practical philosophy, and mindfulness. Also, participate in the comments. Share your experiences, questions, and achievements. Let's create a community of mutual support where everyone can grow together. Remember, the first step to changing your reality begins with a simple decision: the decision to see the world differently. Why not start today? Want to deepen your self-awareness? Access our exclusive ebook by clicking the link in the first pinned comment. And don't stop here. Check out the other recommended videos on the screen to continue your journey of personal transformation. Each small change you make today can become the big difference tomorrow. Click, explore, and continue opening your mind to transform your reality. The lighthouse is lit. Your journey begins now.